Good afternoon. Welcome to the New York Medical College's 27th annual Faculty Author event, which celebrates publications from the year 2019. My name is Marie Ascher, and I am the Lillian Hedrick Huber Endowed Director of the Health Sciences Library. Every year we hold this event, usually with hors d'oeuvres and some kosher wine. And every year Dr. Halperin tells me I throw a great party. Well, in 2020, as we all know too well by this point, this is what constitutes a party. We put on some nicer clothes from the waist up and Zoom. Even though we couldn't be together today to mark the occasion, I'm thrilled we could pull together this virtual event. Before we start, I'd like to publicly thank those that made this event possible. From my staff, I'd particularly like to thank Nina Kurzban, Danielle Aloya, and Janetta Priel. All work closely with our colleagues at Toro Libraries, particularly Scholarly Communications librarian Tim Valente. As mentioned, this 27th annual event celebrates 2019 publications, which are fully listed in the 2019 Faculty Publications book published by the Toro College and University System. For New York Medical College, the publications we recognize today include 616 journal articles, 3 authored books, 6 edited books, 72 book chapters, and 119 journal editors. The publications are the work of 399 New York Medical College authors. In a few minutes, we will announce various awards, but before we do, let us recognize that these awards don't scratch the tip of the iceberg of awards potential, but rather presents some quantifiable measures of success for publications. I certainly do not belittle the awards that will be presented today. Rather, I want to recognize that there are qualities that are not captured by our methods and that winning articles abound in the scholarly output of the college. 2020 has indeed been an interesting year, not just for the way we gather, but in publishing in general, including the cosmic rise of the preprint archive, among other things. 2019, by comparison, suddenly seems like a simpler time. Let's take our minds back there tonight and celebrate the achievements not only of our various award winners, but to all 399 New York Medical College authors for 2019.
Hello and greetings to all of my fellow faculty members at New York Medical College. Welcome to today's authors event. I've always said that I think there's a special place in heaven for librarians. And once again, the librarians of New York Medical College have not disappointed me. They have created, in spite of the pandemic, an online event for us to celebrate scholarship and to celebrate authorship, and thus have reinforced my preconceived notion that there is a special place in heaven for librarians. I have been thinking a lot the last day or so about this event and how the dissemination of biomedical knowledge has changed in my lifetime. When I was a medical student, we went to lectures with something called lantern slides. I remember very clearly my professor of cell biology, his name was George Palade. He won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his work related to the discovery of the ribosome. And he had these boxes of large slides and this large projector that looked like an accordion at the end. And it was a full-time job. The man's name was Elmer. Elmer's job was to be in the back of the lecture hall and one at a time slide the slide in, take it out, put the new one in, and heaven help Elmer if he didn't do it in the order that Dr. Palade thought he had arranged. And lantern slides were eventually replaced by the time I got to be a resident with Kodak slides, either in cardboard or plastic. And remember those, you would assemble them in a circular carousel. That's if you were fancy, you had a circular carousel, and hold them like this and flip them over and put them in a certain way. And they went around the circle, 1 to 80, and then you locked it in place and you put the cassette in just right and you showed your slides. Of course, the problem was that you might not have gotten that steel thing on the bottom just right and your slides fell out. Or you might be walking down the hallway and you forgot to turn that circular thing on the top and then they spilled out all over the floor. And then you had to rush to get them back in the right order. And that was followed, remember, by the people who were the height of technology. And they gave lectures with 2 and 4 and 6 and 8 projectors simultaneously. And they were stacked on top of each other. And the slides would go on 2 screens and one would overlay the other. And they would talk with wonderment about it. And you pretty much forgot what in the world they were talking about because you were so busy being enamored of the technology of all these slides going on and off. And then that all went away. And those office shelves we had filled with those cassettes of slides were now irrelevant because there was this new thing called computer-generated slides. And in the beginning, we were really into that, and they all had to move, and videos and things were spinning around and making noises. And then we lost interest in that and got down to the current state of PowerPoints, where it seems like there's no intellectual thought that can't be reduced to a title and 4 bullet points. You want to read something really interesting, go online and type into Google the Gettysburg Address in PowerPoint and see how you can take articulate human speech and make it into unintelligible gibberish by reducing it to PowerPoint. And that's where we are. And what will it be in another 5 or 10 years? Well, I think we've seen a taste of the world to come, haven't we, because of the pandemic. I gave a speech at the Society for International Pediatric Oncology. It has a French acronym, SIOP, Société Internationale Oncologique Pédiatrique. And I didn't fly to Ottawa and go through customs and go to the meeting hall. I sat home and went on this kind of technology and gave my talk. And after I gave my talk, I served on a panel discussion where simultaneously I was there along with a physician from Accra, Ghana, Tehran, Iran, one from Ottawa and one from Atlanta. And when it was all over with, I was done and I was home. No hotels, no where do you want to eat tonight, no bring back receipts, I was done. And it's hard to imagine, isn't it, that we'll ever go back to all of those meetings when we can transmit information the way we've learned to transmit it now. And maybe our concept of the medical journal coming in the mail will evolve until it'll all be electronic and we'll read it on whatever the journal equivalent will be of Kindle or whatever we'll call it in the future. But I suppose one thing won't change as it has been stable for hundreds of years, and that is the desire of physicians and biomedical scientists to convey information through the written and spoken word. And whatever the past was and whatever the future may hold for us, it is always worth taking a pause, taking a breath, and celebrating the generation, conservation, and dissemination of knowledge. And in that spirit, welcome to our authors event. Thanks to the librarians once again for doing this for us. And I look forward to joining with you in celebrating the generation, conservation, and dissemination of knowledge. Good to be with all of you.
Hello, my name is Salman Amar. I'm the Vice President for Research at New York Medical College. And like Dr. Halperin, I would like to thank all of you for being here to celebrate our New York Medical College author and students. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mary Ascher and her team for being adamant in keeping the flag continuing to provide us with a wonderful Author Recognition Day. Finally, I'd like to thank the administration for providing the means of doing this event. As we think about our mission as a university, and in particular as a land-grant university, knowledge creation and knowledge dissemination remains essential to what we do every day. and the work that we do in publishing books, journals, as well as other scholarly activity work. And this is just essential to our success as a university. And you will hear about the statistics. Statistics are extremely impressive, growing every year. And as such, I'm extremely proud of those accomplishments. I'd like to emphasize the importance of the open access initiative here at New York Medical College and across the whole country. It is really an excellent opportunity that allows us to disseminate greatly without the cost associated with purchasing a book and sustaining and subscribing to the journal. And so it is a great opportunity for us to be able as a community to have access to the work that all of us do on a day-to-day basis. This year, and without a doubt, COVID-19 pandemic has had a profound impact on all aspects of our institution. Most research and publication activity took a steep downturn in 2020, and our community responded to the crisis with the facility shutdown. And as we emerge from this, therefore, it is critical to continue and to maintain the achievement until we regain the complete momentum. What I'd like to highlight is the fact that a major server called Bioactive, the preprint server for biology, that we call it as a service call for a archivist. And you see that the media has taken a significant interest in new publication, and the speed of publication for preprint has become an important aspect in our day-to-day activity. So the combination of bioactive, bioarchive with the data from Twitter helps now to rank those preprint. And I'd like to remind everybody that those preprint have not gone through the peer review process. The speed of publication becomes an important aspect. So medRxiv and its sister bioarchive have been the major source for dissemination of the COVID-19 research. And as such, this is going to take an important part on as we emerge and as we try to find a momentum in our publication. Again, thank you for attending today's event to celebrate the accomplishment of our faculty and students. As such, on behalf of the Office of Research, I would like to extend a heartfelt congratulations to all the awardees. Please take a moment, if you can, to send all the awardees a congratulation email. I'm sure that they will appreciate it. Thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you a wonderful day.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Wolin, Chair of the Library and Academic Support Committee. It's a pleasure to welcome everyone to this year's Faculty Author Celebration event. This is an event where we really acknowledge the accomplishments of the various segments of the community that they have made to basic science, academic medicine, public health, and clinical medicine that have a major impact on the world. And each year, the library staff puts together what we've accomplished during the year and generates a long-term record of the impact of the college's activity in each year's recorded publications for the year. The college community makes major contributions to all these areas. This year, we are, I'm sure, making a very high impact to many aspects of the COVID virus situation, which is, we're often in the news for that as well. And thus, it's my committee that I chair the Library and Academic Support Committee is a committee of diverse members of the community, faculty, students, administrators, who basically work together to help advise the library in optimizing the resources of the library to match the needs of the different segments of the community. And you're encouraged and welcome to contact community members that are closest to you to help them contribute things that may be needed to optimize things for your community. And thus, I'd again like to welcome and congratulate everybody for their contributions they've made to, which all come together and result in New York Med having a high impact in the world in the area of basic science, academic and clinical medicine, and public health. Thank you.
I'm Neil Schluger, Chairman of the Department of Medicine at New York Medical College. I'm pleased today to be able to present 2 awards from the Health Sciences Library at New York Medical College to a faculty member who has distinguished himself in medical research and scientific publishing in the last academic year. Each year, faculty in the Department of Medicine at NYMC publish hundreds of articles in the medical literature in journals in the United States and around the world. Today, we recognize a paper that has distinguished itself in 2 categories: research article published in a journal with the highest impact factor, and a research article with the highest number of citations for NYMC first author. This year, distinction in both of those categories goes to the same faculty member, Dr. Julio Panza in cardiology. His paper, Myocardial Viability and Long-Term Outcomes in Ischemic Cardiomyopathy, was published in August 2019 in the New England Journal of Medicine. It's already been cited hundreds of times and is having significant impact on the practice of cardiology. Please join me in offering congratulations to Dr. Panza for this terrific accomplishment and for these honors.
Hello, I am Dr. Julio Panza, Director of the Department of Cardiology and Westchester Medical Center, Professor of Medicine and Vice Chair of the Department of Medicine at New York Medical College School of Medicine. I am the first author of the article entitled Myocardial Viability and Long-Term Outcomes in Ischemic Cardiomyopathy, published in the New England Journal of Medicine in August 2019. I am honored to receive the research article published in a journal with highest impact factor award and the research article with highest number of citations for the New York Medical College First Author Award as a result of this publication. This article is the culmination of more than 2 decades of research on the topic of myocardial viability in patients with ischemic heart failure. Very briefly, patients that have coronary artery disease and poor systolic function of the left ventricle usually have a combination of scar tissue and cardiac muscle that does not contract very well, but is still viable and may recover its contraction with revascularization. Discriminating between these 2 possibilities is important for clinical decision-making in these patients. I started working on this topic in the early 1990s while I was at the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute in Bethesda. I then became part of the design of the STITCH trial, a multi-center randomized study that confirmed the hypothesis that coronary artery bypass surgery is an effective mode of treatment in these patients. My contribution to this large trial has been related to the study of viable myocardium, and more specifically to the interaction between the presence of viability and the benefit derived from bypass surgery. We began the design of the trial in 1998 after the completion of preliminary studies, and I was a principal investigator on an R01 grant awarded by the NIH. The first patient was recruited in 2002 and the last patient in 2007. The trial had a median follow-up of 10 years. Together with other publications from the STITCH trial, this article will continue to shape the way we treat patients with ischemic heart failure. Undoubtedly, publication in the New England Journal of Medicine contributed to the impact of this and other related papers. I am grateful that I was in a position to participate in this important trial, and I am honored by the awards that I have now received from New York Medical College. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Leonard Newman. I'm chairman of the Department of Pediatrics, and I'm delighted to be with you today to discuss the accolades that have come to our department recently. The Department of Pediatrics is proud to announce that it's received over 178 citations for the work that it published in 2019. Additionally, social media mentions are likes, shares, and tweets about research. These measures allowed us to track the buzz and attention surrounding the research of Dr. Marvin Meadow, who received 326 mentions, and the Department of Pediatrics collectively received over 1,329 mentions on social media for work published in 2019. I'm proud to announce the following awards. I'm honored to announce the award winner for the research article with the highest number of citations is to Dr. John Welter for his paper, Efficacy and Safety of the Alexic Caflor, Tezacaflor plus Ivacaflor combination regimen in children with cystic fibrosis homozygous for the F508del mutation, a double-blind, randomized phase 3 trial published in November of 2019 in The Lancet. So congratulations, Dr. Welter, for this wonderful piece of work. I am also honored to announce the award for New York Medical College first author publication with the highest number of social media mentions. This award goes to Dr. Marvin Meadow for the benefits of oral rehydration on orthostatic intolerance in children with postural tachycardia syndrome, published in November 2019 in the Journal of Pediatrics. I want to extend my congratulations to both of these award winners who are valuable members of the Department of Pediatrics and wish them continued success in their future endeavors.
Hello, my name is John Welter. I'm a pediatric pulmonologist and the Cystic Fibrosis Center Director here at New York Medical College. I'm honored to receive this award for the manuscript Efficacy and Safety of the Elexacaftor, Tezacaftor, Ivacaftor combination regimen in people with cystic fibrosis homozygous for the F508del mutation. I feel very lucky to have been part of this research that truly has transformed the lives of people with cystic fibrosis. The study is just one chapter, and not the last, in a journey towards curing cystic fibrosis. CF is a disease caused by a defective chloride channel called CFTR that is most importantly expressed in the lungs and GI tract, leading to thick mucus building up in these organs, slowly but methodically leading to respiratory failure and shortened lives. While life expectancy has increased from under 20 years in the 1980s to 47 years today, still far too many people are dying at a young age from cystic fibrosis. The gene causing CF was found by a team that includes the current NIH director, Francis Collins, in 1989. However, gene therapy repeatedly failed over the next decade. In the late 1990s, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, through the leadership of their president, Bob Beal, began exploring methods to develop precision gene-specific therapies. The CF Foundation partnered with Vertex Pharmaceuticals to utilize high-throughput screening to search for small molecules amongst hundreds of thousands of candidates that would favorably alter the function of CFTR. This partnership led to the discovery of ivacaftor in the early 2000s, a small molecule that opens defective CFTR chloride channels that reach the cell surface, thus correcting the basic defect that causes cystic fibrosis. While this only helps 6% of people with CF who have certain CFTR gene mutations, it proved that the chloride channel could be fixed, as was shown by reducing sweat chloride values, an in vivo measure of CFTR function, and the gold standard for diagnosis of CF to this day, from 100, well above the level of 60, which is used for the diagnosis of CF, to the 40s, well below. F508del is the most common mutation of CFTR, causing CF mutations leading to misfolding of the protein so it does not reach the cell surface. A second molecule, tezacaftor, was found that helped change the structure of CFTR so some would get to the cell surface, but only enough to reduce those sweat chlorides from the hundreds to the 80s when used in combination with ivacaftor. What we showed in this study was that the addition of another small molecule, elexacaftor, to the combination of tezacaftor and ivacaftor significantly dropped sweat chloride levels from 100 to the 40s. There was substantial clinical benefit seen with marked improvement in lung function testing and quality of life scores. Now, over 90% of people with CF have highly effective CFTR modulator therapies available to them. While not a cure, this therapy has the potential to dramatically increase life expectancy for people with CF. Current research is ongoing to bring effective CFTR modulator therapy to people with CF who do not benefit from the current drugs, as well as cure CF through therapies such as CRISPR gene editing. I would like to thank Vertex Pharmaceuticals, our research team, Armando Ramirez, Latoya Holness, and Zach Messner, my colleagues and my mentor, Alan Dozer, for their support. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marvin Meadow, and I'm a professor of pediatrics and physiology here at New York Medical College, and I'm the author of The Benefits of Oral Rehydration on Orthostatic Intolerance in Children with Postural Tachycardia Syndrome. And this publication, which recently appeared in the Journal of Pediatrics, has the distinction of having had the highest number of social media hits, I guess, of any of the publications that have come out of New York Medical College this year. This work was done in collaboration with my colleague, Julian Stewart, as part of our ongoing research, which we've been doing for over a decade on individuals with postural tachycardia syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome, and other issues that in which patients exhibit signs and symptoms of orthostatic intolerance. In this particular study, which was done with two New York Medical College students, Kenneth Guber and Shilpan Chokshi, we showed that the use of oral rehydration solution, which is very inexpensive, is consumed by drinking 1 liter of oral rehydration salts mixed in a liter of water, compares favorably to the intravenous infusion of a liter of saline in increasing orthostatic tolerance to an imposed orthostatic stress. Paper is important because it shows that a cheap, easily obtainable substance such as oral rehydration solution can help to mitigate the symptoms of orthostatic intolerance, in contrast to suggesting the use of intravenous saline. Thank you for this honor.
I'm Brij Singh. I'm chairman of Department of Neurology at New York Medical College and director of neurology at Westchester Medical Center. It is my distinct honor to announce the award for New York Medical College publication with the highest number of mentions goes to Dr. Alan Tuckman for his publication entitled A Randomized Double-Blind Placebo-Controlled Phase 2 Study Assessing Safety, Tolerability, and Efficacy of Bryostatin in the Treatment of Moderately Severe to Severe Alzheimer's Disease. This was published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease. Alan has been an esteemed colleague for the last 40 years. He joined our department on July 2nd, 1979, and he had played distinct important roles while he has been at the faculty at the college. He was the program director of the residency program for several years and also served as an associate dean. We are very proud of his work, and from the Department of Neurology, all of us congratulate him. And we are looking forward to his future endeavors. Hopefully there will be a phase 3 study. It's an important and seminal study. Hopefully it will lead to some progress in the treatment of Alzheimer's disease. Congratulations, Alan.
I'm Dr. Alan Tuckman. I am clinical professor of neurology at New York Medical College, and I participated in the research that was cited. It is a study that was financed by a small biotech company called Neurotrope, which was co-founded by the senior author, Dr. Daniel Alcon, after years of research at NIH and the Rockefeller Institute. It looks at a marine organism extract called bryostatin that has been shown in many preclinical models to be synaptogenic and anti-amyloid deposition. And in our study, we had 3 groups, 2 doses, and a placebo. And only the lower dose showed a trend toward efficacy in a small study. Only 50 patients received dosage at the 20 microgram dose. And while there was a trend, when we looked at a subset that was predetermined in the protocol, if we withheld memantine, a common drug used in treating Alzheimer's disease with some minimal efficacy, we showed statistical significance. That study is now repeating with a longer duration and larger numbers of patients. And hopefully we'll be able to show statistical significance. Thank you.
It is my honor to announce the award for the New York Medical College first author who published in the most open access journals. The winner is Dr. Leslie Citrome, Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences, who has published at least 14 open access articles as a first author in at least 4 journals during 2019, including the International Journal of Clinical Practice, Neuropsychiatric Disease and Treatment, Journal of Affective Disorders, and Journal of Clinical Psychiatry. Overall, Dr. Citrome has published open access 18 times in 2019 and had received 12 citations from open access articles as of August 2020. Congratulations, Dr. Citrome.
Hello, I'm Dr. Leslie Citrome, Clinical Professor of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences. Thank you again for this award. I'm very pleased to receive it. I've been publishing for quite a while, and lately it's been in open access journals. I want my articles to be read, and having them in open access journals is an easy way to do that. Now, some people are put off by, well, there may be some fee of some sort, but I find that I can get these fees waived quite easily. If my research is unsupported, and I have no monetary support actually for the publication or the research itself, and then I say that and the fees get waived. And I do get invitations to write reviews, and that comes also with the provision that I don't pay for the open access fee. So don't let that deter you with the lack of funding. That's not going to be an obstacle. I do a lot of work with pharmaceutical companies in reviewing their data and writing about it, and they have a commitment to make these articles free to access. So that also leads to publication in open access journals, or otherwise paying for open access or free to access with that publisher. So I write a lot about evidence-based medicine, number needed to treat and number needed to harm, as well as likelihood to be helped or harmed. And I want clinicians to be able to access this material, read it, and apply it in their day-to-day practice. About the only way to do it is by making sure it's free to access, because there's nothing more disappointing to a clinician than going on PubMed, finding something of interest, and then hitting a paywall. So I'm a big fan of making things available for everyone to read for free. And this comes after spending many years also as a journal editor and worried about the bottom line for a journal that goes this route, but it seems to be successful. So thanks again, and hope to see you live soon somewhere.
The next award is for the faculty publication with the highest number of downloads in Toro Scholar. The winner is Dr. Patricia Gerbarg, Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences, for her article, Breath Practices for Survivor and Caregiver Stress, Depression, and Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, Connection, Co-Regulation, Compassion, published in the open access journal OBM integrative, and complementary medicine, which received 178 downloads in Toro Scholar. Thank you for using Toro Scholar, Dr. Gerbarg, and congratulations on your award.
Hello, my name is Dr. Patricia Gerbarg, and I'm honored that the Toro Library gave us this award. I'm here to speak on behalf of myself and my co-authors, Dr. Richard Brown, Dr. Chris Streeter, Dr. Martin Katzman, and Dr. Monica Vermani, who all contributed to this work that we've been doing. This paper, I think, is important because it really summarizes almost 20 years of work that my husband, Dr. Richard Brown, and I have been doing in the field of mind-body treatments for anxiety, stress, depression, and particularly for mass disasters, because we all know that when a mass disaster occurs, there are so many people affected that it's the model of one-on-one therapist is just not practical. And also in many parts of the world, they simply don't have the resources to provide that. So we wanted to develop a method that would very quickly be able to be delivered to thousands of people who had experienced trauma. And we've been working on this for a long time. We've developed a set of practices we call our program Breath, Body, Mind. We've been researching it and honing it. It's really derived from yoga, qigong, other ancient traditions. And what we've done is we've looked at these as scientifically as we can with our modern concepts and tried to distill the most effective methods that could be used. And we've also looked at them from a neurophysiological point of view and done a number of studies, including some MRI type studies, randomized controlled trials in many different types of populations. But mostly our experience and our learning had to do with working with survivors of mass disasters, starting with the Southeast Asia tsunami, and then for people affected by the New York World Trade Center attacks, because we are in New York State. And we began giving pro bono programs to first responders and other people who've been affected, and finding that the techniques that we developed, which are mainly what we call voluntarily regulated breathing practices with some movement, we were able to develop programs that could be given within a matter of hours to people who had been suffering from the consequences of the trauma, anxiety, PTSD, depression, all kinds of physical symptoms. And many of them found really significant relief, even if they had been suffering for many, many, many years. So we continue to provide these programs, and we've since branched out and worked with a number of disasters. We wanted to kind of summarize our work in this paper. So we're presenting both the scientific background that looks into the mechanisms by which rather simple breathing practices can bring about very profound, rapid changes in how our mind and emotions are being processed in the brain, and showing that by doing these practices, we can obtain a much better capacity to regulate our emotions, even under conditions of stress or threat. And we can also improve our mental clarity and how we think about things, make decisions, and are able to be kind of calm and more collected and rational, even in scary circumstances. So now we're finding, and of course we've worked with many disaster survivors around the world, from healthcare providers for the Gulf Horizon oil spill. We've also worked with survivors of kidnapping, torture, sexual abuse, and so forth, genocide survivors in numerous countries in Africa, particularly South Sudan, Uganda, and Rwanda. Also in Nigeria, we have trained teachers who have gone to these places also and worked and reported back to us quite surprising improvements in symptoms of post-traumatic stress, including genocide survivors in Rwanda, and including the women who were kidnapped by the Boko Haram. One of our teachers, Somiari Dem, has done amazing work with them and brought our practices to help them recover as well. We've also developed children's programs, particularly for child refugees, the Rohingya refugee children in Bangladesh, as well as refugees from the Middle East in shelters in Europe. So what we find is that these techniques are so fundamental to how the nervous system works that it doesn't matter what kind of trauma, it doesn't matter whether you're young or old, these types of methods can be helpful. And now, particularly with the coronavirus, it's quite timely that these methods we're now able to use to help people deal with the stresses that we have today. So we converted all of our programs to online, virtual, so that we could provide them to people anywhere who are suffering from what is really a global disaster. And I was absolutely delighted that the Truro Library selected us because it's an opportunity for us to bring these methods for healing, which are self-empowering, which can be delivered to large populations inexpensively and are so much needed around the world. This award gives me an opportunity to again reach out to even more people. So my apologies for turning this into a kind of plea for people to take an interest and seek the kind of healing that we are bringing to literally thousands of people. And as I say, we've done this work over the last 15 to 20 years. We've done randomized controlled trials, and we wanted to highlight some of that work in this article. So may you all find your way in these terrible times, and thank you for the opportunity.
I'm Dr. Jerry Nadler, Dean of the School of Medicine, and it's a wonderful tribute to Marie Ascher and her dedicated team in the Health Science Library that they provide the efforts to hold this annual event to recognize the scholarship and research of our faculty here at New York Medical College. Today, more than ever, it's important during this pandemic to take a deep breath and understand and recognize the accomplishments of others, especially of our faculty and staff here at New York Medical College. It's not easy to publish your scholarship in peer-reviewed journals in academia, and my congratulations go out to all of our faculty that publish. This is how we advance our understanding of improving disease, helping others, developing new treatments, and helping to guide the next generation of physicians and scientists here at New York Medical College. I'm very excited and proud to announce the recipient of the Departmental Award. This is an award that recognizes the department in the School of Medicine that has the highest percentage of publications of their faculty. And this year, I'm very excited to mention that the award is going to go to the Department of Neurosurgery, where 100% of the faculty have published their articles in 2019. It's an amazing statistic. It's very important also to recognize the chair of a department who sets the tone for his or her faculty in terms of scholarship and goals reaching their full potential. And this year I want to recognize Dr. Chirag Gandhi, the chair of Neurosurgery Department, for his accomplishments in leading his faculty. In addition to Dr. Gandhi's excellent work as a clinician and academic leader, he's also the director of neurologic surgery at Westchester Health System, as well as leading the fellowship and residency programs in his department. And I must say, I'm so impressed with Dr. Gandhi and his faculty, and also leading projects for our medical students, which has been outstanding. In fact, just this week, we heard research programs from the medical students. So I now want to take the pleasure of introducing Dr. Chirag Gandhi, who'll tell you more about his faculty for this year's special award. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Chirag Gandhi, the chair of neurosurgery at New York Medical College and the director at Westchester Medical Center. It's a genuine honor to accept this award for faculty research productivity on behalf of our entire department. And while this award reflects the participation of our faculty in the advancement of neurosurgical research, it certainly couldn't have been done without the help of our loyally dedicated group of medical students, residents, and fellows. I'd also like to thank Dr. Dean Nadler, as well as the entire research team at New York Medical College for their ongoing and rapidly increasing support of the research mission, not just of the Department of Neurosurgery, but the entire clinical apparatus at Westchester Medical Center. It's genuinely been a fantastic collaboration. Now, this award reflects the fact that 100% of our faculty have been involved in research, but within that group, there's a variety of novel research that's actually being conducted. For example, within neurovascular, we're breaking new ground on our understanding of vasospasm and subarachnoid hemorrhage. Within neurocritical care, we're better characterizing high-risk surgical candidates to optimize medical outcomes and surgical outcomes. Within pediatric neurosurgery, our faculty have done a tremendous amount of work to describe their extensive experience in pediatric brain tumors and craniofacial surgery. And within spine surgery and brain tumor surgery, a much more robust and objective understanding of the role that frailty, medical frailty specifically, plays in the triage and outcome of surgical candidates. In addition to the clinical research, which I'm extremely proud of, the backbone of our department's entire research apparatus for well over a decade has been Dr. Meena Janwar's contribution in our neurosurgical basic science lab. Dr. Janwar is a preeminent neuroscientist who's done some particularly groundbreaking work in characterizing the molecular behavior of glioblastomas, medulloblastomas, as well as spinal cord injury. She's collaborated with labs throughout the world, in Europe, as well as in Japan, and is a nationally and internationally recognized speaker on the topics of her research. Additionally, she's been a stalwart supporter of our neurosurgical residency, and over the last many years, our residents have benefited significantly from a full year of basic science research in our laboratory. This dedication of 12 months has resulted in a remarkable number of national level grants, as well as awards at both regional and national meetings. And lastly, I'd like to thank our faculty, as well as our medical students, for the continued support of our summer neurosurgical medical student research program. This program, which was started some years ago, has really increasingly borne fruit every summer as a unique collaboration between our neurosurgical faculty, trainees, and students to focus an entire summer's worth of energy and dedication to identifying clinical and translational research projects and bringing them to fruition. It's actually based on this growing success of this program that all of our department has contributed meaningfully and increasingly over the last few years. So with that, I'll just say that an award like this certainly invigorates our department and our faculty to rededicate themselves to the ideals of clinical excellence, as well as our research and educational mission. So again, thank you, Dr. Nadler, and thank you for the recognition of the achievements of the Department of Neurosurgery over this past year.
Hello, my name is Dr. Marina Holes, and I'm the Dean of the Graduate School of Basic Medical Sciences here at New York Medical College. I am excited to participate in this year's Faculty Author Celebration. I am thrilled to announce the award for the Basic Sciences Department with the highest percentage of faculty publishing. This year, the award is presented to the Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. Congratulations, well done. Dr. Lee will accept the award on behalf of the department. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to accept this award on behalf of my faculty. They're the ones who did the work. I should add that we have a small number of faculty, but we have major commitments to teaching biochemistry to the medical students, to the dental students, and to graduate students. I think this award reflects the commitment of our faculty to doing both teaching and to research. Thank you very much again on behalf of my colleagues.
I'm Rob Amler. I'm Dean of the School of Health Sciences and Practice. And it's my privilege to present the School of Health Sciences and Practice Award to the department with the highest percentage of faculty with publications during this year. It's my great pleasure to present this year's award to the Department of Public Health in the School of Health Sciences and Practice, and accepting that award is Dr. Mark Kittleson, Chair of the department.
I'm Mark Kittleson, Chair of Public Health. I would like to thank the NYMC Library for recognizing the contributions of the Department of Public Health in its annual review of publications. Over 76% of faculty in public health have had a publication during the time period identified by the library. It should also be noted that many of these faculty have had multiple authorships as well. This is especially impressive since our full-time faculty have an extraordinary heavy teaching load, along with a substantial advising and service expectation. You know, never before has public health received such attention, something that all of those in public health have long known. The COVID pandemic has allowed the country to realize the importance of public health. In addition, we have seen unprecedented growth in our enrollment, further evidence of how public health has gained great notoriety. Besides preparing our future public health officials, our faculty are also actively involved in scholarship. Department of Public Health has 12 full-time faculty and dozens of part-time faculty with specializations in 5 categories. Besides the 4 MPHs that we offer an MS in biostatistics and a doctorate of public health, along with numerous advanced certificate programs. Our full-time faculty include Doctors Michael Shikarjian and Hongduk Kim in environmental health, Doctors Penny Liberatos and Chia-Cheng Chen in health behavior and community health, Doctors Maureen Kennedy and Elizabeth Drugi in epidemiology, Dr. Chiu-Hu Shi and Hei-Young Kim in biostatistics, and Dr. Denise Tahara and Tamini Murthy in health policy and management. Doctors Ken Knapp and Adam Block serve as directors of the Doctorate of Public Health, and they also are part of the health policy and management team. We have also had a number of administrators from SHSP who serve critical roles. Dean Robert Andler is a faculty member in environmental health. Dr. Amy Ansel, Associate Dean of Student Experience, serves as our practicum coordinator. Tremendous amount of work. Dr. Denton Brocius, Director of E-Learning, teaches in our biostatistics sections. Dr. Ben Johnson, Vice Dean, teaches in our research classes. George Contreras and Kevin Pullman work at the Center for Disaster Medicine, and they deliver courses in our emergency preparedness program. Associate Dean for Research, Dr. Diane Heck, also serves the department and students in the environmental health program. Finally, Vern Smith, the school's finance director, also provides assistance to faculty in the department. You know, our adjunct faculty, part-time instructors, represent every aspect of public health in the Hudson Valley. We are so fortunate to live in an area where there are so many talented public health officials who are willing to take time to instruct our students. Thank you very much for all their help. We conduct a variety of research activities, including bench science in environmental health, clinical studies, behavioral studies, data analysis using large data sets, policies in healthcare and government affairs, and private corporations. We even had one faculty member who put together a proposal for a new drug authorization for the FDA. Although not included in this award, our faculty also have given over 100 research presentations at various international, national, and regional public health conferences, including the prestigious American Public Health Association. These presentations are often great stepping stones to getting these studies published. Finally, the faculty are not shy in getting students involved. I've worked at a number of major universities, and I can safely say that this is collectively the finest group of scholars that I've ever worked with. Congratulations to the Department of Public Health. I'm proud to be your chair, and thank you, NYMC library staff.
Well, that is it for our program. Please take a few minutes to view the full list of New York Medical College authors by department. And as a reminder, you can request a copy of the print 2019 faculty publication book via the library's webpage. Thank you for spending time with us today. Congratulations again to all of the authors of New York Medical College. I hope we can all be together again soon to celebrate our achievements.